Hey guys, today I want to go over a couple things. First is why Aeolian should be the first scale that you learn. And the reason for that is because you can use it to solo over major and minor songs. And then the second thing is why Dorian should be the second scale that you learn. So I'll just go through the scale first. So we're gonna do this in F sharp. This would be F sharp Aeolian. Goes like this. So as you can tell, it kind of has that minor feel to it. The intervals are 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. Or if you're in the key of A, the relative minor, it would be 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason this scale is so cool is that, when I'm trying to solo, I always kind of think in relative major and minor. So there's always a major connected to the minor. So the key of A is also F sharp. The key of B flat is also G minor. So like the key of A is always F sharp minor, and the key of B flat is always G minor, and key of C is always A minor. Key of D is also B minor. So if you kind of think of those as one thing instead of two separate things. So we're going to be in the key of A or F sharp minor, and we're going to be using Aeolian over F sharp over F sharp. So I'm going to play with the backing track just for a minute, and show you kind of what you can do just with that scale alone. I'm not going to play any other scales. I'm just going to play F sharp Aeolian. So, like I said, that the scale sounds pretty good just over that basic kind of minor blues progression. You could do pentatonic stuff with it, or you can even just kind of go up the scale. So it's pretty easy to get familiar with that without kind of getting into a whole bunch of other scales, and just kind of staying in that position. And the cool thing about it is that it doesn't just work over F sharp minor, it also works over the relative major, which is the key of A. So if we all of a sudden switch to the key of A, so here's F sharp, A is 4 frets above it. So if we switch to the key of A, let's switch to a song in the key of A, and then use that same scale over that song. All right. So, as you can see, the F sharp Aeolian scale also works over the key of A major. I felt kind of stifled because I'm not used to just staying in that one position, but it's a great way if you're like a beginning guitarist to be able to start soloing because it's just one scale. You don't have to worry about like going up the neck, going into like blues boxes or anything like that. You can just stay in this one place and kind of, build your sound there, and you can move it to pretty much any key. So, if you're in the key of G minor or B flat, you can just use G minor Aeolian. If you're in the key of A minor or B, you can use, A flat minor or B, you can use A flat minor Aeolian. And it kind of goes up from there. So if you're in the key of A minor or C, you can use A minor Aeolian scale. So it's really helpful because like when I first started playing guitar, I didn't really know what scales to properly use over major or minor songs, especially over major songs. I didn't realize that you could use the same scale to solo over two different keys. So the next scale you should learn after Aeolian is Dorian, and the reason for this is because instead of having a flat six, Dorian has a natural six. So this is Aeolian, and this is the Dorian scale. So that one note is different. That in F sharp minor, if you're an Aeolian, the six is a D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're in Dorian, the six is an E flat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it sounds pretty different. So here's Aeolian. Here's Dorian. And Dorian works really good over like jazz and a lot of blues progressions and progressions that go from a minor chord to a major chord. Instead of the Aeolian scale will work over a minor chord to another minor chord. Dorian works over minor to major. So I'll give you an example of using the F sharp Dorian scale and see how that sounds different than the Aeolian scale. So, as you can see, it sounds quite different than using the Aeolian scale. So, like, a good song to practice a Dorian scale over would be like Oye Como Va, stuff like that. The other thing is Dorian also works good over 2-5-1s. So, let's say you have a 2-5-1 in like G, right? You can use Dorian to solo over that. So you can use a 2-5-1 in G would be A minor, D dominant, and G. You can use A Dorian to solo over that progression. So like something. So it's kind of another way to use Dorian. It's very common in jazz progressions. Pretty much any major 2-5-1, you're gonna want to use Dorian. So if you have like a major 2-5-1 in G, which would be A minor, D dominant, G, you would want to use A minor Dorian. If you have a minor 2-5-1 in G, which would be A half diminished, D dominant, G minor, you would want to use G minor Aeolian. So let me see if I can try to find an example of that. So here's a 2-5-1 in G. So as you can see, Dorian works really good over major 2-5-1s. Let me see if I can find a minor 2-5-1 in G. So this is a minor 2-5-1 in G. It's basically A half diminished to D7 to G minor. And in this case, you would want to use G minor Aeolian. So anyways, it doesn't have to be as complicated as it seems. When I first started playing guitar, like all of this stuff seems so complicated, but like I'm trying to explain, you really just need a couple scales. Like Aeolian can be used over minor songs and major songs. Just remember that, just remember to think about the relative major and the relative minor. So if you're in G minor, you would want to play G minor Aeolian, and then that also works over the relative major of G minor, which is B flat. This pretty much applies to any key. You can also use Aeolian over minor 2-5-1. So let's say you're in G minor and you have a minor 2-5-1, which would be like A half diminished, D7, G minor. You can use Aeolian. And then Dorian you can use over major 2-5-1. So let's say you had like major 2-5-1 in G, like A minor, D7, G major. Then you can use A minor A minor Dorian to go over that progression. So hopefully this lesson helped. If you like this lesson, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And hopefully it made sense to you guys.